Did I do it?
Is everything set up?
I think we did it. Hey, howdy, and hello, gamers. How is everybody doing? My name is Hyper. I am here with the lovely Darth Naku, and today we have a match on our hands. The hero bands are in, the teams are in. Naku, are you in?
I'm here. I'm ready.
Well,
I don't know if I'd say I'm in. What are bands?
Bands just received word. We're going to Ilios, and bands. Extinction has banned Diva. Shikigami have banned Tracer.
Curious. What do you think? What do you think these teams are thinking going into with these bans? As we see a Tracer ban, I think is really interesting. I very much understand the Diva ban, as Pella is maybe the best ball player in North America. And so and Diva is very good against ball. It's very good at shutting down balls engages. It's very good at making ball's life basically difficult in every way you can imagine a ball's life can be difficult. But Tracer is something I'm more interested because I feel like Tracer isn't played as much.
Yeah, it's definitely it feels like a rarity nowadays to see a Tracer and not something like a Freya or a Soj in its place. So I think with the Diva ban, perhaps just to cover off that ball ban, but we're headed into it. Extinction rolling out on that ball composition, and a hazard composition from Shikigami. Zach looks to set up on this flank, take angles.
It seems like a really anti-Pella comp is what I'm looking at right now.
That is exactly what we're looking at, as Social gets dove but survives with the help of that tidal wave. But now it's Extinction's turn to look for an engage as Pella swings through. Cabe gets cut. Lampet now, if I can hit the right buttons. I'm sorry, my finger is all bandaged up. It's tough too. Pella gets another onto triplet. Lampet gets the pick onto Seaful, and a cleanup for this first fight. And I would first and foremost also like to apologize because I will be a little out of it in the midst of a 24-hour endurance sim race. But you know who else is enduring right now is Shikigami, because this blast of information and this blast of an engage early from Pella is putting Shikigami in their place.
Really good point touch coming out from Shikigami that unfortunately ends in Zach dying, so not really a good follow-up, but really good on keep making Extinction like not play so far up in spawn for a little bit.
It does force them back, but then they come right back around just to force the spawn. Do what any Extinction team in any game does best, and that is some type of spawn hold, as Juno gets dove and is forced to use that Suzu, but Pella's being a menace in the back line, forcing out Zach.
Pella coming up on ult right now. I really want to see what Pella does with his ult. Because like this spawn hold is super deadly, and they have ults first, so they want to use them to advantage. Although Gabe does use the Freya ult a little bit earlier, followed up by Temp, and it's just a stalemate right now.
Yeah, it really is just a stalemate. The Pella ult does come down, forces out a lot of that space, but the tidal wave now, or tidal blast now used by Social. The engage is there on from Lampent, but Zach and Seaborn are there to follow it up as the dive into the backline of Extinction leave them extinct for but a fight, as the point does flip in Shikigami's favor, finally.
Yeah, and they flipped it super early here, and that's kind of the advantage. That might be a little bit of an advantage of their comp, is like if they play their distraction really well and their timing really well, then they could find openings like that. This point flip came out like before the fight really even truly ended, and against a team with a ball and like a Kiriko and a Wu Yang, like that's really important, because like they could have held that point for way longer than they ended up holding it.
Definitely, and it ends up being a one fight scenario for the side of Extinction as the EMP comes out early from Zach. Zach gets forced out, but not before Timp gets taken out. Lampet now goes for the engage, slicing and dicing into the backline as both Kirikos use their ultimates as well to force the engage. Lampet finds their one. Zach down means that Extinction might still have a dog in this race, but do they have that dog in them? They're down a lot of point presence, a lot of damage, not having Social or Timp online right now. Coming back from spawn still now. The ult forced out from Seafold. Seafold juggling Juno around, eventually leaving that point, but Point getting that pick, but Point does flip in favor of Extinction. Juno still, Juno's death meant nothing to Extinction. They were still able to hold on strong, carry on the legacy, and they get the cap. Point goes back the other way, but what an ult fight, what an ult usage fight.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by, there were some like ults that I wasn't expecting to come out, but they ended up forcing a lot of other ults. I was really impressed by Extinction's ult economy there and how they forced ults out from Shiki, which means that Shiki is coming into this with only the Freya ult as the minefield comes out and ends up getting a pick onto C4. C4 goes down. Pella also gets a pick onto C4. And Kilbeat is confusing, man.
Cave eventually dropping to Lampent and Timp there to just pick up the pieces, put the puzzle together, and Extinction taking the first round of Ilios 100-85. Naku, something I'm realizing, and you realized right out of the gate, is the almost the anti-Pella comp. You know, Extinction go into this, they ban the D.Va, which not only protects off any other tank from being banned, so Pella can play the ball, but it also allows some flexibility if Twolls were to be put in, because now they still have options of things that they can ban.
Oh yeah, I think like the D.Va ban is really important here, because without it, then I think Pella's just put in the grave. But because they don't have the D.Va, they're playing an anti-Pella comp, but Pella is just like a master at using that comp to his advantage and making it so that, like, because they're so focused on being anti-Pella, that the distraction of Pella's ball is just working perfectly. Like, we're spending so much CD, so much time, we're giving up so much space to do anything to Pella's ball, but like, it's Pella. Like, he's incredible at ball, he's incredible at surviving. Like, as we see here, like, look at all this space that Pella has forced just by being Pella and not dying there. Like, Pella has 5 people looking at him and he's not dying, and 2 people go down now, Juno and Cave from either side.
You go to Mickey D's and order a number 3, they're just gonna give you 1,000 Pellas, because Pella is non-stop. Pella doesn't stop. Pella's hungry. Pella will eat everything. Pella will consume, same as Seaful is consuming all the resources from the side of Shikigami. Barely able to keep it alive, keep it together. Extinction do get the point, and Seaborn, unfortunately, again, my beloved friend falls, and Pella now. What is going on?
Literally, finally got body blocked and died. Lampet still gets 2 in the spawn though. Again, like, Pella can die here and still forces so much cooldowns that Lampet is still finding follow-up from it. And like, Pella only dies there because of like the body block. Like, it was a bad mechanical mistake, but it's like maybe the only mechanical mistake that Pella's had this entire game.
I will need you to take over for just a moment as I'm bleeding all over the place, so give me 2 seconds. I'm so sorry.
He said that in his caster voice. Yeah, absolutely. Cave gets a pick onto Lampet here, which is a super big opening for Shiki here, as they really just like need to get out of the spawn. Another pick onto Juno, so there's Extinction now down 2. Gonna have to back up here. We're gonna try not to use ults if we're Shiki here, and we're gonna have to maybe use ults if we're Extinction, which is the whole point. But again, and that's the ult that comes out onto Pella from Wu Yang, and the beat follow-up to save his Triplet to save his life. But Seaborn gets the pick onto Social. So now Shiki is up 1 and they have point control. Pella, once it back, is going to drop Minefield. Ult point looking for Lucio gets super low, but maybe we'll get the pick as the pocket is coming out. But on the other side of the map, Cave will get the pick onto Lampit, and another pick onto Temp with the ult. Cave gets to 1 HP now, but it won't matter. Stays alive as C4 gets another pick on the social, and now Extinction really struggling to stay alive here, and just really needs to just get out of this fight and go again as just like a lot of point percentages come up from Shiki. Somehow Pella is still alive, hacked in the back line with 600 HP still. It's just gonna like just really just like playing with a cat and mouse in Zach's spawn. as ults are coming out onto point, Zach finally leaves Pella alone, gets the pick onto social as more ultimates come out. The Primal Rage gets one as Temp tries to get a kill with that ultimate, but won't get it and gets picked off by C4. We're now at almost 60% for Shiki, and I think we're gonna need at least one, maybe two fight wins for either of these teams to cap this final point.
Yeah, Extinction bleeding real blood, such as I did all over my keyboard. And now it is time for Extinction to make their comeback, as they will be trying.
He's all written down. I don't know how he does it.
It's not even ready in case any scenario. But Tim does get EMP'd, eventually falls. Zach falls so low, but the tracking from Zach is able to carry things through. Wait, is this the same? No, it's
In the excitement, Hyper has muted himself in Discord, so I can't hear
I did indeed do that on accident. I don't know how much you heard or didn't hear, but what you need to hear is that Extinction right now on the back foot. Pella goes for the engage just to try and get that touch, try and force out triplet as Zach goes for the TP for the engage. Lampet's going to be looking to switch onto that Sombra and help get more engage into that backline, but Juno falls early as the ult from triplet allows them to all stay alive. Shikigami looking powerful, strong, and mighty in this second point. Revitalized even as Zach finishes off social, and that's gonna leave things tied up 1-1 as the final embers of Extinction on the second round finally go out.
There were a lot of colorful plays, a lot of big plays from like C4 and Cade, even Zach. What was really Shiki's strongest point there, strongest element there, was their backline. I mean, Pella went on triplet 4 times, 5 times, maybe even 6 or 7, and just never died, and was getting beats off, and was lived, Pella got ulted by social, lived that ult using beat, Seaboard kept triplet up 3 different times through the dives, just so much of Extinction's game plan falls. Never mind.
Now, bit of a switch up. Lampent this time sticking to the Sombra. Previously we saw Lampent go back to the Genji, but now going back to the Sombra, as the Sombra is going to get immediately forced out. Shikigami taking aggressive action, taking early ball game, if you will, as now Seaborn gonna be looking to stand steadfast on this high ground, not get forced out, but the Suzu eventually gets forced out, and now Triplet's gonna be taking down Lampet as Pella is gonna be doing their best to shut down any of this.
Exactly.
Pella is just doing Pella things. Seafold gets almost moved off the map, but thanks to that, tank passive stays alive nonetheless. But Pella again staying alive when Extinction needs him most, and although it is point in favor of Shikigami, and Extinction are getting forced out slowly but surely, the engage is still strong enough from Extinction to be able to keep it going. Now social does get dropped by Cave. Cave gets the follow-up pick onto Pella, and now finally the opening is there. This is what they've been waiting for their whole lives. Cave finding so many opening picks, cleaning things up, and Shiki finally with a clean fight kit.
Pella has infinite uptime there. What Pella wants to do is stay in the fight for so long that Shiki uses every single cooldown they have, and then Extinction finally has an opening to do stuff. And Pella's trying really hard and doing a really good job of staying in for a really long time, but somehow through all of it, Shiki just isn't dying. They aren't forcing unnecessary CDs. They aren't they just aren't struggling at all into what is a really good attack.
Yeah, as that attack does try and come through, the ult used from Temp, but not able to find much value. But Social gets the pick onto Zach. Beat used from the side of Shikigami is gonna enable them to get aggressive, but Cabe hates Pella's guts, and Solo ults him into oblivion. As Pella falls, Temp is soon to follow, eventually getting taken out by Zach, and Lampent gonna not get taken down again, as Juno barely able to keep them alive. And something I'm noticing here is
one fight went away.
Pella on the monkey.
Oh, we're swapping it up. We're realizing the game plan isn't working. I'm still really interested by both of these Sombras, although we both have EMP now, so it's really hard for us to justify that swap, as EMP is a pretty big fight winner here. And we're going to see it come out into Cage, looking for Juno, gets the pick. Now we're down one on the side of Extinction, and we don't have that Kitsune coming out, and it's going to be bad for Pella as the beat comes a little bit late, and Pella dies. And we're coming out with we don't have Kitsune, we don't have anything. We only have an EMP. It comes out, but it's not going to be enough. Is we get 8, 9, 10%, a little bit more on the point.
More than 6 or 7, but it is the final fight. You could say there's been, I think, 7 picks so far this fight for the side of. Oh, but Seafood gets knocked off the map by Pella doing Pella things, keeping them alive in this. It's not over. And Zach is off the map now too. It's not over when Pella's in the game. Pella will fly high and fly forever. And the third boot comes through. And the finish. The finishing touches.
Just wipes the entire team. Are you kidding me?
Extinction, who I've only heard of Pella. We're gonna run past that one. Pella. Now Extinction keeping themselves alive. The monkey swap didn't quite work out, so they make it back around. What is that graphical glitch going on there? I don't know what that is, but nonetheless, graphical glitches aside, the engage is there, and it is strong from Pella. The beat is not there yet from Triplet to be able to help sustain through the mines. They have to just wait it out. But Temp, now with this ultimate, gonna be able to force out something, force out an angle, force out some looks, as Cave force off that off angle, gets engaged, and that's exactly what Extinction was looking for.
Triplet's gonna have to use the beat here, and we're gonna try to force it really early or get the kill off as that goes down really early. We really want this beat to be bad or not get it off at all, but Seafood dies and Triplet dies. There's no beat for Triplet, so now we're 1 fight away. We have beat now, so we're looking at having a little bit of an ult advantage here, yet we're a little bit down on Kitsune, so it's really just up to how we use our support ults and how we layer them and how we get value out of them.
Extinction doing Extinction things again, playing aggressive, getting some motion.
Beat early. Zach goes down. We beat early into their spawn. We're walking into them, trying to get the Ajax. It's not quite enough as Triplet gets the ultimate ult, and another ultimate coming out from Temp. As it doesn't really get anything, but it's just so much damage. Juno gets a pick onto Cade, and then Kitsune comes out with Juno coming up on Kitsune 2, but gets another pick, gets a third pick, gets Kitsune on the point, looking for a 4. Doesn't quite get the final blow, but Juno to close out the map, a showing from Extinction on an individual stand. Flashes the grand final, Pella. That's what I said. That's what I said.
Pella showing what Pella can do. Pella saying, all right, team, you've had it hard enough for long enough. Now it's my turn. When All Might said those words, it was to Pella.
Guys, it's never over when Pella's on ball on this map. That's the story going forward, is that if you put Pella on ball and you set him on that map, it could be a 1v5, it could be 99-0, you could be down 1-0, it doesn't matter what the situation is. Put me down, please.
I just sorry for being so unprofessional there. I just had to pick you up, give you a little squish.
But
Pella.
Man, map. What is there to say about like the macro of that map? What is there to say about like how like the old economy was looking? What is there to say about like these players playing to their strong suits or whatnot? When it was just like when it comes down to it, like the second like it just came from somebody making a hero play, maybe two if you're Juno and made like the second 4K, and then Extinction like getting back into their groove and being able to play in the spawn, like doing a really good job of playing super aggro. It didn't quite get that Ajax out on triplet that they were like 100% looking for when that beat came up, when we decided to be first, but like I can't, like, it all starts with the hero play. So it's like it's so hard to even be like, oh, they played their ults better. But it's like 90% of that map they were losing pretty bad and they were like struggling with the ball comp. It wasn't getting the value that they needed, or they weren't playing it like it wasn't just like it just wasn't working like they needed it to, which is again just like a testament to Shiki's backline, because like I can't imagine, like, the way Pella's playing that, I can't imagine it not working well. But Shiki's backline was just like somehow not like using every single CD the second, like like within like, I don't know, 30 seconds of Pella being inside of them. Like he's just there for so long and you're not using Suzu ever. So it's really just a testament to like Pella manages to make a hero play and like kill 4 on point by himself. But like, what can you do about that?
It genuinely, it was I just, what a cinema. That's what comes to mind, is absolute cinema. Pella being able to come back, they try the monkey, it just doesn't quite work. They instantly switch back to the ball to get the point touch, and
I think monkey was the correct
play. I am, you know,
I think when you're looking at it, it's the fact that like the ball being in for so long wasn't working because the supports weren't using extra CDs. So like nothing, like you can't follow up on like your ball not getting the job done, right? Like no amount of timing, no amount of like play can like fix that. It's just like the backline was living. So like you swap it up, you play slightly different. You go Winston, it's still dive, it's still like all your pieces still fit together well, but instead of like long engages to slowly force out CDs, slowly force out resources, you're going for quick engages that force out CDs fast, and you have to force out CDs. And you have like EMP and stuff, so like you definitely have like the resources to do that with that, but you just want ball to touch faster. And it worked because
you just need ball to touch faster. And boy howdy did they have that touch. Speaking of touch, we're about to touch down and land at King's Row, where
touch. Twals is here. Hi, Twals.
We're gonna skim past that one, as the Wu Yang ban is the pick from Shikigami, and the Symmetra ban is the pick for the side of Extinction. Now, you said something that intrigued me a little bit, was that style of play that they were running, that ball, the monkey, even bringing out the hazard from the side of Shiki, and those signs of light that we were seeing very much so came at Shiki living the Pella dives in the Lampent engages, and then being able to counter dive in that backline. And I think that will just be completely flipped on its head, as now we're going to this more brawl heavy map. We're going to Twills and Lampent's bread and butter. We know these two are absolute goats on both the Zarya and the Vendetta alike. So I'm excited to see this happen.
This is like maybe my favorite comp of Overwatch right now. I love the synergy between Vendetta and Zarya. And I'm just so excited to watch this. As this setup is super interesting, as we're going to see an engage coming out from Hotel.
Now
drop right down back.
The engage is there from the side of Shikigami, as they still haven't patched out the incorrect colors on the spectator. It's horrific, but nonetheless,
it's really like putting a puzzle together.
It is, my friend. And the other puzzle that needs to be put together is just who will be touching this point right now from the side of Extinction, as Lampent finally goes for the engage and gets the touch in, goes for the re-engage, but is forced off again, but goes it for the 3rd time. You'll never say he'll do it a 4th time, but Lampent's still that guy. Lampent falls to Zach's hands, Zach's tiny little freezy fingers, I suppose, as this composition, very reminiscent of something that perhaps the likes of I mean, I'll keep it a $150 with you. I'm just blanking on the team name right now. T1, very reminiscent of a comp that T1 would play on a map like this that we saw in OWCS without the Bastion, though. The Bastion is an intriguing change. There was those mid-season buffs, which Bastion saw a little bit of, so that kind of helps enable this kind of composition as all of these ults coming online.
I mean, Bastion just has a lot of health and is really good at burning Czar bubbles. That's kind of just it. Is that like this team comp like just doesn't die? They're really good at like standing still and living, and the kind of like you're really working on short engages. So if you can't get the kill and like your first like down slash 2 swings as Vendetta, you kind of have to get out, because like right now gonna take the visual aggro, gonna get the bubble off, but like if people push you out without bubble, then you just have to leave, and they're not, you know, you're pretty comfortable here right now, but you're not gonna get a whole lot of value as the order comes out from Temp, and it's just gonna get shut down by the window.
Absolute shutdown as the grab comes through from Twills and from Lampent. The combo of a lifetime is here, and the repeat, just like we saw in previous weeks with these 2 comboing ultimates. We see it again as Cave's form cannot do enough. You can transform all you want, but you can't transform out of life or out of death, out of losing this team fight.
I'm really interested in what perks Cave is going to pick on Bastion here if we decide to keep sticking Bastion. Again, classic. This is what I prefer to call Korean boxing, where you're just like constantly fighting, constantly like locking eyes and fighting people, and you're doing that in first round. Classic Extinction right now.
Now the ult is online from Hero, so Hero's going to be looking to try and perhaps solo, touch someone out, touch someone in perhaps, but Extinction biding their time, playing slow, looking for angles, looking for possible picks, angles to engage from. As you were saying, this is such a brawl-centric comp.
Really good.
But that
Really good rotate.
The rotate is so clean. The ult is big, but the beat is there to respond, as now the May ult comes through from Zach. Zach barely not able to find anybody, but Lampent is there to pick up the pieces for Extinction, keep them alive in this fight. Gets that pick onto Zach through Juno's ultimate. Twills now getting the pick onto Hero, and the cleanup is there as Cabe is the last to fall.
Yeah, that rotate was really good. It's really hard to get out of these spawn camps from Extinction, but of course there's like 3 or 4 doors to walk out of, and they just
the
found
setup
that Extinction wasn't holding, and rotating all the way out, and we're baiting out. We're baiting somebody, and the Lampent's falling for the bait and dying from it, and now Temp trying to pull it back with some ultimates.
Oh my god!
Back and forth from these teams.
Oh my god! Is that allowed? Is that allowed? Juno and Social still somehow still alive. Social finally falls, but Juno a little stuck
in the back line. 1v5 from the Kiriko.
I believe.
Looking for the pick coming out. And,
living.
They're going to be pushing. Yeah, living in the back line. Maybe not what you exactly want. I don't know. It's really scary here. You need to find a way to like TP out and not die.
Yeah, you essentially
forced out.
Yeah, you essentially have to use TP to get out, which means you have to use Suzu to live, or you can get a pick. That would work as well. Still on this off angle. Now was able to successfully get on the solo grab.
Have an off angle as the grab comes out, and it's going to be this Kiriko off angle is actually really good for Juno now, as the damage and healing comes out on like this perfect angle to do both. As Temp gets a pick, Lampent gets a pick with the ultimate. The grab maybe not entirely in vain here, as Extinction is going to clean up this team.
You know, we just need to stick on this Lampent fellow for a while, because every time I switch off of him, he does something batshit awesome. And if you're like me, you like awesome stuff. Am I right, fellas? Up top. I love awesome stuff. And you know what else is awesome? Is having ultimates, which is exactly what both of these teams have factually correct going into this fight. But the early engage.
Beat comes out. Big. Triplet gets a pick on the Lampet because of the beat. Really good ultimate that he had. We knew that. Hero gets another pick onto Twalls. Man, this ultimate is really good from Triplet. That beat, I think, is the only thing they used. Maybe Sigma ult. Yeah, they also use Sigma ult in that fight. I don't know if they used it though. I didn't see it. But we're only at 40%. I don't know what happened.
Ultimates still being used. Who would have guessed it? The Juno ult comes out, but the May ult from Zach is there to combine it, but the ult from Temp is there to kill Seaborn's lamp, but Seaborn falls alongside of his little buddy, friend, pal, buddy, as Hero falls to 1 HP. Lampin gets there 1, but eventually falls to Hero. It's a 1v2 now. It's just Juno. Juno and Social is back to now try and stay alive as Lampin, or Twalls, excuse me, makes their great return, trying to get their 1. Getting punched into the throat is Cave, but Shikigami prevail and capture point 2, a minute and a half now on the board.
I fully thought Juno was going to get it done. I'm going to be real. Can Twalls get off Doomfist now? Oh, look at this go. Oh, God. Passion's a cool dude. What ultimates do we have? Nothing. What ultimates do they have? Nothing. Cool. No ultimates. We figured it out.
Wow, the puzzle solved.
I truly don't know. I really hate this Doomfist pick. What are we going to do?
The Doomfist pick. This.
Oh, get the pick on a Zach somehow. Cabe follows up onto Social.
This is a composition we've seen Extinction bring out before. This hard engage comp utilizing this Doomfist slam engage along with the burst of the Freya and your Lampent there just to live and exist. But I think this ultimate kind of spells that, hey, I'm not too keen on staying this hero. I do want to switch. I just can't yet.
I think it does.
I think Twalls is just built different. I think Twalls is just built different because in their spawn room, again, it goes Extinction, forcing Shikigami to be in fear, you could say. Because Shikigami is...
Shiki just has to like stay in their spawn. They have ultimates. They're probably going to walk out with either Sigma ultimate or Baptiste ultimate. Come out early on tap onto Triplet. Down 1. Only 8 seconds left to touch. And no, Lucio means that the Hero barely going to get the touch off with the ultimate. Looking for Lampet. Lampet down slashes. Gets the ult off on to Lampet. And Lampet comes out with the ultimate open. Rocked from left field. 1 HP on the Hero. Can Hero stay alive? I think so. As Cave gets another pick, the window's out to keep Hero alive. So they're gonna live, and it's gonna force Extinction to back out as Twalls dies. Now Twalls can't swap. We have to touch. We're 50% to ult. Twalls is on the best Hero 2 touch possible. So it's really just about this last fight. Who's mechanically better, man?
Juno with that ultimate gonna look for the engagement. Triplet's there to force that ult as well. And now with both teams being able to upkeep, Lampet instantly falls, but Zach gets traded as well. And that's gonna leave Lampet falling Temp as soon as well. This high ground advantage that the side of Shiki has is just too much. The beat comes from Social, keeping Temp alive just a little bit, excuse me, Temp keeping Twalls alive just a little bit longer. But the last days are upon us as Cabe is there to clean up, and the full cap, albeit in OT, is there for Shikigami.
Like, ideally, what you want from Extinction is to play so many short turns, because, like, Shikigami has, like, one long term where, like, they have, like Sigma Rock and all their stuff, and they have, like, walls and stuff to, like, survive, and they have, like, Bastion, and, like, all of these things, like, it could kill Extinction in an instant if they make a mistake or they mess up. But Extinction is basically saying, like, oh, if we don't make a mistake and we don't mess up, then once you guys have used those CDs, like any of those CDs, then, like, you're dead. Like, if you mess up if your block or your Bastion form isn't, like, good enough to, like, get the work done, then you're probably just gonna die in the next turn. Extinction then goes to a comp with Doomfist, and basically it's just harder for you to survive Shiki's cooldowns. Like, you don't have the bubble anymore for Lampet, so you're basically just playing, like, we're gonna have one turn where we're going to use a lot of CDs, and if we're, you know, if Temp doesn't get the pick onto, like, random pick onto Zach somehow, like, really somehow, because, like, if you're on what's her name, Vendetta, you just block against a Freya and you live. And so, like like we saw like Extinction like get picks, like Lampet would get miracle picks, Temp would get miracle picks, Swalls would like go crazy on the Doomfist. But if you're not doing that, then it's just like it's just cooked, because you just don't have the CDs to like play a longer fight, or like if you don't instantly get those picks, then it's cooked. And like Shiki's comp is so good at not getting picked.
Oh, Temp.
Oh my god.
Temp just gets walked on the rotation so strong there from Shiki as Lampent falls as well. And I knew this was going to be a bit, it's going to be a thinker as we're seeing that switch up again.
Jesus. Fuck. You're never going to see it coming.
Twirl's moving back onto the Doomfist. I don't hate it, Naku. I don't hate the Doomfist. I think the hard engage might be what they need. Maybe they force out some cooldowns before the fight, but the hard engage can be there, as I think that's exactly what the setup they're looking for. Is Lampet taking a lot of poke. This is the downside of that comp. Juno and Lampet now rotating around, biding their time, looking for angles, forcing Zac to drop actually. But Lampent needing assistance, gets the Suzu. But now the hard engage is there. Zac insta falls as a disgusting corner swing comes around. Now it's Twolz who follows up with the dive. But now the form of Cabe is left in shambles as it gets no value, and Extinction clean up to take first point.
Extinction is just playing to walk more. Like I don't know what else like there is to say about it. Like on defense, Ishiki's comp is really good at like holding one angle, holding like the same angle. Like, but if you're on Mei and somebody walks past you, you can't chase. As like we saw, which has happened. Like Mei tried to chase, because if you don't chase, then like Extinction is just gonna have infinitely better angles. But if you do chase, you're Mei, so you're just not as good at that. Like you don't have movement CDs.
Absolutely, and now it's gonna be looking for aggression from the side of Extinction, as they're gonna try and play their angles, play the corners just as they did before. Zac now on to the heroic vendetta, is the bat ball used from main of Seaborn to be able to keep them alive. But Zac gets the pick. The rotation is there from Extinction to follow it up as Seaborn falls.
I think the vendetta for Zac is just much better here into this team comp. Is like, what does Mei do? Like, you're not hitting any wall against a Doomfist. So now you're on vendetta, you just have a lot more control over the map. And we're seeing that as like, it doesn't matter where Extinction's going, Vendetta's there. Like, Twalls is ulting just to get away from this person.
Twolz actually goes for, I was about to say an engage, but does end up falling back. Now Cave goes for the ultimate to try and set things up, but the punch into Hero shuts anything down. Now Temp getting forced to 1 HP and eventually falling. The ult comes out from Lampent, uses it, doesn't find any value, does force Hero down. The hard engage into the backline takes down Seaborn. The rollout like he's Lucio comes out from Lampent, and now the beat as well. But Cabe is there to follow up the pick onto Lampent. Hero goes for the ultimate onto both supports, and it will be social falling, but both supports will be doomed to fall. As Extinction, 2.5 minutes left.
Vendetta is literally just Batman. Like just like went over the building, made zero noise flying, by the way, and just crushed Baptiste's neck in an instant. What do? You can't do anything against that. As we see a more front to back approach coming out from Lampent here, instead of taking the wider angles and just like doing a lot of damage to tank, which absolutely does happen, but I don't know if it's enough damage into like a Juno, as we see Lampent take the way wider angle here as they're going to look for an engage. Temp gets a pick onto Triplet somewhere in the map on this right side off angle. It was a really good off angle. Like we're playing for Temp space really well. Extinction's not like going super deep, because like if you play past where Temp can see, then your chances of success just
Exactly. Your chances are significantly lower. This weird, like, 2v2s going on. Lampent just wins those. Seaborn making the switch onto the Juno, finds does drop, and getting almost a fourth, but again stolen by Tim, who I guess can have the final 2 picks. and it's clean up aisle Shiki's pants as Extinction dominate them. Worst line in casting history. I couldn't have said it better. I just shouldn't have said it, but I couldn't have said it better. Seaborn now with the Juno ultimate online.
What is this angle coming out from him? Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I see the vision. I see the vision. It doesn't quite work out. Now we're down one.
Naku, the one thing you're forgetting, Vision isn't on the team anymore. Zach gets the pick onto Lampent, and Lampent will be sent back to the lobby, as now it will be time, it will be Extinction's turn, rather, to look for an engage with these ults.
That's on my head in my hands. Deal with you. What ults do we have? Extinction just has like more ults. No, we have like the even amount of ults. It's like
Video game.
It's just a little bit better. Beat comes out from both sides. You know, it's a better.
Oh my god.
Anime fight comes out into this quarter. Zach decides he ain't built for that and runs away. And Triplet also not built for that. Gets absolutely downward smash. But Lampent goes down and Zach is in this room. Kids two.
Now what
in
the?
room,
What the heck?
For a third. Where's Temp?
What the hell is Temp doing back there? Is Temp helicopters his way down into the abyss back to spawn? We get there how we get there, all right? Listen.
You're looking for crazy angle. Temp is gonna look for another crazy angle again this fight because he has ultimate now and it's gonna work really well.
Watch.
Just watch.
Okay. Watch.
He's gonna go on this top right. He's gonna look for a crazy angle. He's gonna hit the ultimate. Watch. He's gonna look for a crazy angle. Oh,
no, we're watching. I'm waiting.
Wait. Just give it a second.
Waiting. 12 finds one. Temp finds the follow-up pick. Zach and Triplet both being down gives the opening that they need. Seaborn found in the air. That's not the C, silly goober. As now,
shockingly, this guy plays normally and they win the fight. Like, what do you want from me?
Okay.
Like, it gets not in their spawn, and somehow he gets two picks? Holy crap, this guy's figured it out.
Tim falls to Cabe's ultimate and leaves things still winnable for the side of Shiki, as it's all or nothing. They want time. They want to eat it all up, Biggie style. Badlands chugs all of that time up, but still, trades coming left, right, and center like it's a UFC fight, quite literally, with Twolz punching his way to victory, trying his very best, but it just won't quite be enough as the rest of Extinction falling slowly but surely. Seaborn gets dropped, which could be the opening pick they need. The big slam is not quite online yet, but the Ajax is there, as Twolz is just him. No rock for the side of Hero. Hero gets forced out. Now the mega punch enabled. Does punch Hero, drops Hero to 1 HP. Seaborn is back, 5% away from the ultimate, as this ult is gonna be vital in this instrument of the playing the card, but it's just not enough. The ult is just better. Twolz flashing signs of Pella, but just not him. And
that'd be nice.
yeah, well, in that fight, Twolz did all they could. I'll blame it on
I think it comes
lag.
down to Extinction's team comp having worse ultimates. Just barely. Like it's debatable. Like Freya ult and Bastion ult are both kind of like mediocre. Freya ult having like way more consistency and pick consistency, but just really hard into the team comp that Shiki was playing. But like importantly, like Doomfist ult is bad, especially like Sigma ult is good, Juno ult is just better like Kitsune, and so it's just really hard in like these big ult fights. Like you know, I was joking about like Temp played normally and they won the fight, but it you know, like they just like Extinction just used their ults pretty well in that fight, and that's like really why they won, because like just like so much space opened up, and like Temp got like 2 final blows, but it was like 5 damage each, and that's just like a testament to like the map opening up and like stuff happening because they're using their ults really well. But like when you get into a fight where like you Kitsune and they Juno ult into your Kitsune, like you just lose that matchup. So even when you trade beats back and forth, you're still losing, and you're pretty much always like going to trade beats into that team comp unless like you're beating the Sigma ult. But if you beat the Sigma ult, then they have beats and they don't need to beat Doomfist ult. Like you don't need to beat like so it's just the team comp is like it's so hard in multiple ways that like when it hits, and like they did they almost won the map because like it hit like 4 times for every like maybe 8 times it didn't hit. So that's just kind of how attack works. Just
I was gonna say that just sounds like how attack functions.
that is just kind of how attack works. But like and ideally like you don't give defense that many times to win. You don't give defense that many chances to win fights when you're on attack. It's Extinction played a comp that could have worked, but I think they made it really hard for themselves with it.
As the maps and bans do come in, it will be a Zarya ban.
What was that follow noise?
Sorry?
Well, you gotta follow. What was the noise? Oh no, your sub does the weird noises. Never mind.
Not the follows, but I guess if we're saying something bad, it's Scooter. Thanks for the follow. Now going into this third map,
What are bans? We didn't talk about.
We
bans
are headed. I did. We are headed to New Queen Street, where Extinction has banned Zarya, and Shiki has banned Kirito.
The player?
Kiriko.
Yeah, not what you said. Anyway.
Did I really say Kirito?
I'm like pretty. It really sounded like. I'm pretty sure.
I think you probably yeah.
Zarya ban's really interesting, as Extinction's the one that played Zarya, but
I think it's just the cover off the ball ban.
It probably is. But you get first ban, you're just like, you're putting Pella in, you get first ban, like you know what they want to ban, but it's not gonna happen. The Kiriko ban is the more interesting ban, as I think I don't know, like there's a lot of different support comps that work, but like I think like with Ball, one other support is able to follow up and live when you don't have a tank that's fighting for space that you're taking or you're holding, So it's like you can play Ana, but this map might like depending on like it limits the where you can fight as Extinction, because like you want your Ana to play certain sight lines and certain angles. You don't really want your Ana to like say be in like the tunnel in the middle of the map, or like you don't want her like super close to the action. And like team comp like a ball comp, limiting where you can fight can be really bad for the comp. It doesn't have to be, but it like just lessens what the comp is good at. We're also seeing Diva come out. That's the other thing I wanted to say. Is that we talked about it. What is happening?
No,
Why are you laughing? Why?
I just thought this would be the perfect time to put the Overwatch League 2019 soundtrack in the background, and I can't hold it together. I can't hold it together.
Have you on my second monitor, and I'm just like,
I buckled. Oh, banger
we
though.
see the Diva coming out. We talked about it on Ilios.
Congratulations.
She's gay. We talked about it on Ilios that like Diva is a really good counter into Ball, and it's even better counter into Ana, because of like you're able to eat the nades and the healing and stuff. And so now we're leaving Diva open, and of course you're gonna play Diva if you're playing into like Extinction's Ball comp. Like you just have to. And so we'll see how Extinction deals with like their. I think they're losing out a lot with like pre-map like already.
Yeah, a lot of setup is going to be required from Extinction's comp with that Ana, whereas, you know, you have the TP, you have the dives, as we already see that TP in reposition occur from the side of Shiki. Hero taking point on cart, but it will be Pella trying to do Pella things again, be a Pellicopter, if you will, and spin around trying to
dead in there.
as Lampent finds that early pick, even though the TP comes through successfully. Cave gets social, which is going to leave things wide open, but Juno finds two onto Zach and Cave, able to keep this fight alive for the rest of Extinction. A 3-on-2 situation here, but this isn't the type of game where you win those. You do just lose those, and you do just have to fall back, play slow, wait for your team, as that's just what they do.
So, Symmetra's really interesting here. It gives them a lot of movement options, a lot of rotation options that can be really scary. Positioning bad. If your rotation's a little late, a TP can be really scary. It also means that this, but as opposed to that, Symmetra really, like, pretty hard into ball, into Vendetta, who is really good at disrupting these rotations, even these TPs. As we see Lampet takes out Cave while, like, the rotation's still happening. While we're, like, looking for a TP, we can't even set up the angle we want because, like, Extinction's just been pushing P's the entire time. Like, this pit bot has not stopped moving.
Lampent dominating the back line and front line, all lines, but eventually it's Pella's turn, I guess.
Pella comes.
What? I'm so sorry. I'm gonna put it at a twit longer after this one. But Juno hitting a huge ante onto that backline will have no apology, as the Nano here is looking to be used onto perhaps a Tim to go aggressive, but Tim doesn't need no Nano where we're going because they're going to spawn. Bella getting that final hit onto Zach.
And now we just play their spawn, right? Like, literally in their spawn. Lampet is like, is in the door, is just like playing around. I don't know.
He's just like, he's fiddling his sticks back there, as eventually Hero will get forced out, but the Tidal Blast does get used. The dive is there. Oh, playing dangerous games as Lampet, but still lose. Temp gets the pick on Zach, but the trade is there. Hero 1 HP, somehow surviving through that Juno ult, but eventually getting dropped. Cave being forced to play super slow. Now Lampet keeping triplet in spawn, hitting the midair onto Cave. Disgusting putrid human right there. This is things that you shouldn't see. This should be on an NSFW stream. I mean, this is destruction. As I say that, though, Extinction have been destructed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really hard. You're fighting like
so
I mean, you're at 113 meters. So like you're doing pretty good. It's just really hard to win that final fight, as like you're in their spawn, they respawn right there. Like Zach's back in the fight in 7 seconds after like getting early picked. So it doesn't really matter. But they still, like, we kept Lampet's ult here after having 5 ults in their spawn, looking for something, not quite getting it. But Pella's gonna get the follow up onto Seaboard. As Seaboard goes down, the flashbang comes out onto Lampet. 1 HP, getting super low, but Cave's gonna go down as we're just holding this block into everything. As finally you go down, as Tep also goes down for somewhere else on the map, but finally another pick from Juno and Social onto Hero, and Zach, and Triplet goes down.
What?
So now we're down 3 on Shiki, and Extinction's won the fight, and we're pushing bot right back into their spawn room.
What in God's green earth? That fight was so left, right, and center, you wouldn't believe. Now this off angle from Juno might get punished, but instead it'll be Zach who's punished. Like, good lord. Social uses that ultimate onto Lampet, who goes into the backline, finds one. Pella with the follow-up onto Seaborn, and Temp will be getting the the triple, you could say, onto Triplet as Hero falls, and that will be Shiki's heroes falling, as Seaborn not even worrying about coming out of spawn. Triplet stuck in spawn, but there will still be an attempt made to go for this re-engage, but there will be no success found as Extinction full cap New Queen Street.
There's a few things I want to talk about. Extinction came into the first fight in their spawn with 5 ultimates, by the way. So, like, that's insane. Like, you're pushing 113 meters, you're not using an ultimate, you're just winning in the neutrals, and, like, we're, like, seeing, like, what the Symmetra fails at, which is, like, these TPs, like, you're rotating around a lot, you're getting around a lot, which has its pros and cons, especially because you banned Kiriko, and you know there's probably going to be something you can get on, whether it's a BAP, whether it's on, whether it's whatever, but you're also doing it into what you know is going to be a ball comp, what you probably know is going to be Vendetta, because you know that Lampet likes Vendetta. So, like, I don't know if I agree with the Symmetra pick. You just, like, know they're going to pick that. And so you're just losing, like, what, 3 neutrals in a row? And the second one is, like, the most insane, because you're spending so much time rotating around, trying to get the right angle, trying to use Symmetra for what her strengths are, that Extinction's pushing payload the entire time and gets the cap off without you ever touching the point, which lets Extinction get into their spawn room with 5 ultimates up. Unfortunately, they lose that fight, but it doesn't really matter in the end. The other thing is, like, what a map pick. Like, if you're like, you lose that second map and you're thinking, like, what's the best map we could go to? They clearly picked the right one, because I think they went into that map and they lost the ban phase, if there could be such a thing, because, like, I think they went into that map with, like, a lot of disadvantage. Like Ono on that map is not something, like, you love, but, like, made it work incredibly well. Like, you're not liking that they're going to get to play D.Va into your ball. You're not liking that Kiriko's banned. Like, there's just, like, a lot of things that you're not liking after that ban phase, and then you do that. Like, that's such an insane map pick.
And speaking of map picks, we will be headed to Shikigami's map pick and first ban. We're going to Shambali with a ban of Zarya.
So we go from losing and picking King's Row to losing and picking Shambali. We're seeing, like, where they want their conference to be, and we're assuming a Zarya ban. We aren't going to see 12s come in. Like, so we're on Shambali, on a map where Ram, Sigma, Zarya, just like the ground tanks. We're expecting someone that's scared of fights to play tank on this map, and the ball player is here.
Yeah, typically you might wait a couple of minutes, right? You might try and, like, all right, team, let's figure it out. Let's strategize. Zarya's banned. Nope. Pella, put him in. And this was, I think, the shortest intermission between maps I've seen in a Face-It game, which I think is kind of interesting.
I mean, I think it's just a confidence thing.
Exactly. It's that confidence that, even though I do believe that Extinction knows that they're going to want to pull out this Sigma Sim Bastion whatever comp, with a ban from Extinction of Cassidy, it's looking like they're just playing to enable Pella. I mean, in Lampet.
Yeah, I mean, we're just playing what works. Like, we're saying, like, okay, King's Row, like, we play
Is that
King's
allowed?
Row, like, sure. Why would you say anything about it? Why would you?
Fair enough. I ain't see it.
No, press an F key and move on. Get that off your screen and don't think about it, boy.
Speaking of not think about it, neither is Zach thinking about playing the Mei or the Symmetra again, as Shiki just looked to just play the slower comp, still with this Bastion nonetheless, but still Extinction with the Pella presence, if you'll call it that.
Yeah, I mean, like, this map isn't great for what they're playing, but you're looking at, like, the momentum, you're looking at the confidence, you're saying, like, this is what's working for us in the past. Let's just play what we're good at. Let's play what we're comfortable on, even if it's, like, not a map that we think it's going to be best on. And it's working out pretty well for them as they win the first team fight with just a I don't even know what happened. It was so fast.
it was almost a Extinction allowing them to take high ground just so just so Extinction can surround them and go for the hard engage as the ult into spawn comes out. Doesn't quite find anything, but it does force out a lot of cooldowns. Does force out Lamp as well, as now Lamp pinned, speaking of which, won't be able to get out with their life. Pella dropping low, does escape with their life, as Pella does typically.
Right now,
Sorry?
yeah, that one right now. And his little notepad, it just says lamp and then an arrow to lamp and
Okay, like we're gonna move on. Lamp,
I just like the idea that you have every one-liner written down somehow. I just like,
no, these are off the cuff. You know what else is off the cuff? Is Zach's health bar, because Zach is down so low, does eventually get out, but Pella is there to force the engage, force even more cooldowns to be used as they're playing the coast. And I don't mean to boast, but it's getting pretty frisky up in this. Anyways, they're playing Overwatch. Pella goes for the slam and goes for that ult, which forces out the beat in return. Social's ult doesn't quite find any value, but Cave is found all alone. Seaborn now on this high ground all alone. Pella goes for the slam, getting whittled down slowly but surely. Lampet's there to go help with the engage. And finally, Seaborn will fall, but Lampet will also fall in return. Still anyone's game is this fight. The numbers are on the side of Shiki, but don't let this ult fool you. Juno has full confidence in their team to be able to win this fight, and Juno themselves getting aggressive, getting some motion, finding two, not quite able to save Temp, but we didn't need that guy anyways. As now,
Juno's just gross.
Juno's just.
No wonder they banned Carrie.
And I've been saying this. There's a reason Wu Yang has been banned. There's a reason Kiri's been banned. And you know, maybe.
A human.
Dead, back in spawn. Juno got also put him in a crate. Juno and Lampent also put into USPS next day shipping. It was $400. It was so expensive. But Zach getting solo ulted, the lamp being that. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Where did the lamp even come from?
Seaborn built like that, I guess. As Hero goes for the ultimate, solo on the Pella because we hate that guy, I guess. They'll never forget what happened to Ilios. Cave finds Temp. Temp finds Seaborn, but the cap is there. And finally, Shiki find their footing.
I'm waiting for the fighting to stop so I can say like, it just doesn't stop. We have 3 ultimates, almost 4 coming out, but Pella comes out with the ultimate of his own onto point, and another ultimate coming out from Zach this time. So we're seeing Pella get really, really low, and but Zach might not be able to finish this wall, but finishes Lampet off, and Juno coming to save the day. Isn't gonna quite make it work. Is another one.
What? What is my hit scan doing? What? Okay, I'm a green low.
The craziest thing that happened that fight.
Okay, it's just not, but we're gonna move past that. And the 18th flank of the game is unsuccessful. Who would have guessed? But in other news, Seaborn, with that BAP ultimate, going to be able to control so much space, as Hero knows this, so they're playing aggressive. They're looking to get some extra motion, as now Lampent uses that as that go button, peeks out to go for it, and Seaborn gets taken out of the sky. The social ult now put onto Lampent. Lampent falls to 1 HP, but still maintaining life force. Hero eventually gets that pick, and it's now or never for Extinction if they want to continue this full hold, or if they want to get forced back, and Shiki will be the ones being forced back, as finally
we get our footing as Extinction. And now the footing is really important for Extinction, because now Extinction is going to try to play in their spawn. I think somebody's coming back from spawn. I can't. Is Lampet. So that's a really fast coming back. So that's really fast. You're going to get back to Pat from spawn really fast, so now we're playing super far up, and that's exactly what Extinction wants to do. They have ultimates, but Pella dies really early. That's really unlike Pella, and it's going to force Tep to use ult, as like Tep is in their spawn for this spawn hold, like, and it doesn't get anything. Tep's found himself. We found ourselves in a position. This is actually really good. Pella's going to come back from spawn on for the touch, I think.
Yeah.
Or Lampet's gonna have to do it as Katsuni comes out, and now we have like angles all around the point, and we're kind of only playing one of them. Tep goes up on top left, and Zach gets 2 with the ultimate, looking for a 3rd, but Tep gets a pick onto Cave. Zach gets a really low triplet, gets a pick onto Tep, so Tep goes down. Zach versus Lampet on point, but Lampet's by himself and Zach's not.
the lineups from Hero and Zack were able to succeed. The friendship reigns supreme. No switches coming. Oh, actually, I take it back. Juno does switch back to the Ana on this defense. So perhaps
Yeah,
looking for some more off angles.
We just get to sit still, and nobody can really get on top of us if we're far enough away, and so like we just have better feeling.
No, I said the same thing, but tell my ex about it. But now Pella with the ult going deep into the backline does found Hero. Cave unable to find any picks with the ult. Just don't mention it.
What's that
Now,
mean?
I was gonna go further with that
Don't
bit,
explain yourself.
but I won't be doing that because the time has passed, just
Learn
as
this,
Shiki's time has passed. As now,
Finally.
the
Finally, we're in
copyright
our safe
extinction.
space.
Oh,
Never mind.
the trademark 2026 extinction has been untrademarked, but Pella disagrees with my statement as Pella's staying deep into the backline, eventually getting forced
Pella just
out
wants to be-
in balls. Social uses that ult onto himself, not able to quite find anything, but now Seaborn able to find that pick onto Social Temp using the I'm flabbergasted by some of these ults and what how they're getting away with some of these things, B, why they're doing it in the first place, but that's maybe for a VOD review session with the coaches. Najoki, go for it.
They are coming up on 4 ultimates, and we have Vendetta ult.
It's enough.
So either Lampin hits the craziest anime swing
Hero down.
ultimate ever as Hero somehow manages to die. Somehow, what? Beat comes out. So and so 2 ultimates come out. Hero has to make a swap. Doesn't have ultimate. Ted dies early. The ult comes out from Lampin. Doesn't get anything. Zack coming up on the same ultimate in about 10% here as the Pella ult comes out and gets Zack. So now that ultimate's out there and Hero's back on the Diva. I don't know why we weren't on this a little bit earlier, but gets booped into the minefield and dies. Pella, a monster. On point. Lampin finishes off the back line. Extinction manages to barely hold last point without any ultimates. Somehow.
Absolute cinema once again from Pella and Co.
You didn't do the hand thing.
I did actually.
I didn't see it.
Obviously.
Well, I looked over and you were saying absolute cinema and you weren't doing the hand thing.
I had already done
Well,
it.
it might be. Oh, okay.
I think
Okay, so
if,
let me think.
if Jesus Christ was a
Go ahead.
hamster, then Pella would be the second coming of Christ. Yes. Yes. No. Yeah. That is true. Yes.
Jesus can be a hamster.
I.
Okay, so we're struggling a lot here. I was
You and
thinking,
me,
I have
or
a thought.
Shiki?
Yes, Shiki was struggling a lot on the attack there, defense, because we're on this comp, but like it's just harder for Pella to survive. Like Pella's trying his best, but there just aren't as many angles. The map isn't open. There's just not as many places for ball to move, and so it's really easy for them to just like catch the ball out. It's harder for the ball to get away. It's harder for you to move more unpredictably, go into a place that they can't reach you. So Pella's like doing Pella things and dying instead of doing Pella things and surviving like you want in EOS where there's just more options. So basically, they swapped. Ended up working a lot better.
Now, this defense running it back, keeping the vendetta though. I think that is a good swap as you spoke on earlier. Pella
Yeah,
looking just to
Vendetta's
force
just good.
point, force someone
Who's better?
down. Me. Temp
Okay.
on the flank again.
Dude, how are you already back here? Like it's a really good. It's like it should be a really good angle, but Shiki did a really good job at flipping the map, and it's going to end up killing Social as Lampin also goes down from C4. So like it's just really hard for Pella to do anything. It's like kind of to go back into your spawn. I really think like we've made a lot of remarks about Temp's angles there, but I think like when you're playing a comp that has a lot of mobility, can take a lot of different angles, can take a lot of space on the map, versus this team comp which kind of like stands still. You're on, Baptiste, Sigma, and Bastion, so you're not holding a lot of space on the map. You're not moving a lot. You can't like move around. You can't like fight for angles. So it means that we can take a lot of angles, and we're gonna see that like when they're staying here, when they don't rotate, when they're on this high ground, Lampet does go down, but Temp's angle could still mean a lot here, as like we're on like nobody can get to you, nobody can do anything. Hero forced to drop down onto point just for some reason to not get it moved. Cave gets the pick onto Social. I'm not entirely sure where, but finally they're moving onto Temp, and Temp finally dies, and it's going to be another rough.
I need to see Temp playing MCSR here pretty soon, because these speed runs into the backline have to be types of world records that only Feinberg himself could pull off. And speaking of Feinberg, they are mining away at this ultimate bank. As they, you gotta stop and just let me go. You gotta just let the leash off.
Oh, my mind was blown. I didn't know where you were going, and then it all came together, bro.
Pella goes for the engage. Zach gets taken down to 1, and Zach with a 4, more like Zach with a 0, as 0 HP is left, and the hunt is on, but Timp isn't able to find anything. But the numbers advantage is still there, as Pella gets nanoed, looking for a slam now, not quite able to get it. The beat doesn't get onto Cave or Zach, but it's enough to maintain position and to keep the rest of Shiki alive. The ball mines come out now from Pella on this back line, but now Lampet comes back onto the Tracer in lieu of the Vendetta. Lamp comes out into use to try and save Hero, but it doesn't come out in time. Now Seaborn knows it's Jover, and they go just to die on the cart, just to die by Lampet's hand. Lampet, hand and fist going through the ass of Shikigami.
What? Can you say that?
Of course I can. It's my stream.
That was crazy.
But it just, you know what? I'm going to leave it there, because next up, Naku, you're not going to believe what I'm going to say. Their ultimates on the table.
They have ultimates. Lampet swaps, has Pulse Bomb. I really like the swap. You're not as committed to hard engages, and you're way harder to kill. And Vendetta's kind of easy to kill, because if you don't get that pick, if it doesn't work out, then you're kind of like, you either have to use your team to get out, or you're gonna die. As we see, ultimate comes out on to Juno, dies. The ultimate from Zach doesn't quite get anything, as Social on this angle. Hero pushing out Lampet, but Lampet lives. I don't think Vendetta can do that. I don't think Vendetta can just like get out there. And so now we're still alive. The big pile driver coming out onto the back line, trying to force Temp off this angle, but Temp is just too far away. Pretty safe. Pella has ultimate, needs to get the ultimate off, but the Bastion has formed. The Lamp comes out, or the Bastion ult comes out. Baptiste ult. Lamp.
The last hurrah.
Bastion.
The last hurrah is sung as Zach cleans up Social and Temp, and it will be the full hold on Shambali from Shiki, as we are headed to a map number 5. Ladies, gentlemen, and gamers of all ages, this has been an incredibly close back and forth match. I mean,
yeah, these teams are so different. Like, they play completely different comps, and so like it really I think it came down to, I think we're going to see, if I can make a late game prediction here, it's Extinction's map pick. They're going to pick a map that's incredibly suited for them and not as suited for Shiki's style of play, and they're probably it's probably going to be another new Queen's Treat. So like Shiki needs to do something different. They just need to have like a backup, like their team comp, like it works on their map, it works on King's Row, it works on Shambali, when they can't, when ball isn't as good, or just like these dive comps aren't as good, when there aren't as many angles to hold, when there isn't just as much diverse space on the map, then they are really good at like standing in the correct spots and keeping angles, making angles not useful, and then because like the team comp that they're on, like these dives, like these engages, like you can't force LCDs. If you're Lampet, you end up just dying. You can't get away. If you're Pella, like if there's not as much space on the map, it makes your movement much more predictable, so you can't get out, even with 1,000 HP. Um, so I like, and now we're just probably going to go to I don't know, like a flashpoint, and any flashpoint is better.
Well,
Unless it's map 5, so it might be whatever map next.
we are
Pick
going
whatever.
to be headed to Extinction's pick of Blizzard World.
Blizzard World.
And the ban here is very intriguing to me, Naku. Extinction,
People.
they no, but it's, you know, they the sim ban has already come through, so there's no you know,
Sure.
denying that. The Cassidy ban, that's been used as well, so Cape can't play the Cassidy, but you know, they do go for the Sigma ban, and that it covers off the ball, but what it doesn't do is cover off the ability. Sorry, my brain short-circuited there. It doesn't cover off the ability for Shiki to still go for these hard splitting engages, similar to the sprites, the I don't know yet, the bright spots that we saw on Ilios.
I just like the way you said it.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know what it is yet. I don't know.
Ball mirror. So yeah, like two things. Blizzard World is really good for what Extinction's good at. You know, Ball's really good. I think it's also quite good for Sigma. So I think the Sigma bans, I think Sigma's Shiki's best bet on Blizzard World. I just don't think, like, say you know, Diva is still really good here, but like I don't think like Azaria is very good. You know, Winston, Diva, or Shiki's like picks, unless they go for the Yana's Ball Mirror, which now we're in for a show. And you know, I think either one, it's up to what Shiki's comfortable on. I think we saw on Ilios, Winston dearly working really well against Extinction, even forcing Pella off ball at a certain point. On Ilios, of course, Extinction still ended up winning that map in that series, but it clearly has some level of success versus, say, Diva, which doesn't seem to be working as well for them. I think, like, at the end of the day, if you're Shikigami, what seems to be happening is if your comp is based around countering Pella, countering the ball comps, Extinction's ready for that. They know how to play around those comps. They know how to manipulate what you're doing into a fight win for them, even if, like, you're technically playing into their comp the correct way, or technically playing into Pella the correct way. So it's really up to Shiki to just, like, find what works for them. And I think, like, it just has to be, it just has to be a different comp. Like, what clearly works for them is the Sigma Bash and Baptiste stuff that was working on King's Row, but you have to have a second comp that also works.
They do have to have that backup comp, and that other ban is Vendetta from the side of Shiki. And with that Vendetta ban, I mean, it's you know, no pun intended, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you, like Zach, now
double-edged sword.
It's almost like why I worded it that way. It's almost.
I'll leave. I'm sorry. I know.
I gotta. It sounds backwards somehow. My clown is backwards. Anywho. This is just a hard. Shut up. Seeing this monkey dive comp is not quite what I expected, but what I do want to see is a hot, nasty, tasty.
I mean, I called it.
Well, I mean, you did call it. You were spot on with wanting to play this fast-paced, very mobile comp. Just to play around, maybe go for counter dives. Be able to disengage easily, but Triplet can't disengage off of that as Social. Wow! Simply, Social and Juno, simply just the best supports in NA. You can't change my mind, L.
I'm shocked. We saw on Ilios like how well Triplet was surviving that exact thing that Pella just did. How well Seaborn was like keeping them off, and because of that, how well like C4 was allowed to take space without like taking a lot of damage from the team. It just like what was happening with Ilios, it just absolutely did not happen there. Like it was just it felt like a completely different team.
You're spot on. It felt like it was just a different engage, a different Pella even, as Juno's locked in and locked into Zach's head as well. Juno finds a second onto C4 and finds a third onto Seaborn as my observing skills pay off. All that time in observing school.
Observing.
W observing. Listen, it's a do it all in the house here, okay? It's all me.
No, it's hard.
It's hard.
I've been there.
And it's what's worse is that 2 of my fingers are incapable of being used at the moment, so I can't click 10 buttons. Anywho, you know who else can't click 10 buttons is Pella, because the only button Pella needs to be clicking is the S key to get out. They drop so low.
That on this map versus the last map, that there's just more angles as Triplet gets a pick onto Juno somehow. I don't know exactly where Juno is. Pella almost getting another pick, but Tep finishes off on Cabe. Pella looking for Triplet, but is seeing that like there's just a little bit too much disruption to the back line from the Winston. Has the minefield onto point. Another gets 2 with minefield. Tep gets the ultimate off. Can't Seaborn, no CGs to live after Pella forces them all.
Can't see me.
Shame to do Queen Streets.
Can't see me. You can't see the ult coming from Temp to pull them into Pella's mines. Beautiful combo play. Not the typical that you would typically see, but Seafall switches to the Hazard.
Yeah, Hazard, which we saw on first point of Ilios, and it didn't exactly work. First point, they lost. And so we're going to see if they can make it work again, but Zach is going to get the pick onto Pella as like, and I think this point is the point that it can work, as Zach gets to Social. Pella looking for another one into their backline. Lapid getting super low, is going to get to the point in spawn, but Juno isn't. So this point is really interesting. It's the most inside point, it's the one with the least angles, and that's why we're going to see Pella switch, because now it's going to be really, really hard to survive. It's really, really hard to take those angles, so we're going to see practically a full swap as Lapid and Pella swap, which completely changes how this comp is played.
Ducky, my specialty. The Orisa comes out as we see the spin just to sustain here on point, waiting for people to look for an engage. Gets the wave, waiting for the wave of engage. The wave it does come, but Social instantly falls. The Juno ult is there. Cave's ult is there to follow it up as well. But Juno's ult will be all for naught as Pella and Co will just get rolled through with the usage of, what was that, 3 ults?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Juno comes back with an ult, which you know, kind of a rough ult. Like, wait, Social swaps, I think.
Social onto the Lucio.
So yeah, we've swapped just a lot of things. So we might, you know, we have 4 minutes. We might lose a fight. We might lose 2 fights because we're just like down perks. We're down ultimates. Like, but like third point is just completely different from the first 2 points. So like, what can you do? As Lampet just struggles to take the angle there, and just gets forced out really, really early. As the rest of you just wasn't really angled for ready for such an aggro play. That gets another pick on the Social. Pellet goes down from Triplet, and again, we're just seeing that like now Shiki has the momentum, and it's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit more work for Extinction to be set up onto this third point. You know, much like King's Road, the hardest point to defend, or the hardest point to attack here, for multiple reasons.
Zach getting forced out on that off angle, but they do eventually go to get hunted as Zach gets finished off by Juno, and Pella has that ult whenever they so please to use it, but it won't be this fight because it will finally be a fight where they can get the upper hand. They were able to use that rotation to their
look at the ults.
The ults online for Shiki make this look a little rough. So Extinction pulled close. They want in on the action.
Yeah, I don't know if you're Extinction, how do you want this? You just don't like ult first and hope they misuse their ult. But we're already seeing really good space being taken from Shiki as the ultimate comes out, and they're just gonna immediately kite it. It's Seaborn gets really, really low. They go for the engage, and they try to live the engage with the ult, but it's just not gonna be enough as everybody on Extinction goes down, and they have two ults. So we've lost that fight, but we have 2.5 minutes left, and we've actually gained the ult advantage going into this last fight, and we have what 4 meters left to go to capture third.
6 or 7 maybe. Pella now gonna be trying to take angles, go aggressive.
Nobody thought that was funny.
That was the whole point of it. As Lampet doesn't think it's funny either with this engage, as it is a hard engage. Seafold tries to counter it, but gets one inside of that ultimate, but the follow-up is there from Lampet, finding 4, and it's clean up. Not aisle Shiki, it is just clean up aisle 3.
Clean
because
up
third
aisle
point.
my pants as Lampet kills 3 with Dragon Blade. Am I the worst?
No, you go ahead. No, go ahead. No, you can. You got this. I'll be an observer and producer now. I think it better suits me.
Okay. So, like I said before, like we lost like 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes maybe on that third point, but it's just like everybody's experienced on that map on King Thrill. Like just like those third points are just way easier to defend. It's way easier to like cycle ultimates, and especially when Extinction like full swapped their team comp. And now like you're losing perks, you're losing ultimates, you're losing momentum, and like it just gave Ishiki a lot of space to work for like 3 fights. And then of course, like in order to win that fight, Extinction had to use so much that out of spawn, Shiki was coming in with literally 5 ultimates. And I think Extinction made like the smart play of like walking into the spawn, forcing ultimates out, and then doing a really good kite. It's just that like Shiki has so many CDs, they have so many movement CDs. When you're using a bunch of ultimates coming out of spawn, you don't have to use any actual CDs. You don't have to use any of your actual cooldowns. So after you use the ultimates, and after you've kited all the ultimates, then Shiki has all the CDs to go even further, even further. We ended up just like using ultimates to try to survive that, and it was like a good plan. It could have worked for sure, but it just didn't. So now we're coming back into this defense on the same team comp that we started, and it's the team comp that Pella's, this Extinction comp is known for, the Pella ball and stuff. And again, we just have so many angles that it's just going to be both of these team comps really good at angles, really good at engages. One team really good at long engages, surviving really hard, forcing out CDs and resources over a period of time. Another team really good at just going in like that and establishing finger and forcing out every CD at once. So it's really just up to like which team is going to either like survive for longer. Ooh. And Pella barely living there. The advantage is to maps like this where a ball just like can move more unpredictably. It's gonna force Zach to use like every CD just to chase ball, and goes down like that as Triplet and Zach go down. Unfortunately, Lampet, not what you want to see with the trade coming out, but where it's 2 versus 1, and Extinction just is not letting up, permanently forcing CDs as C4 is forced back out, and they're kind of all over the place. They're not hitting the rotation they want. They're moving back to where they were before. Zach using everybody up to that top right. Everybody is back onto this top right is what they want to see. They're hitting that rotation. They're looking for an engage, but Extinction really good at moving back and forth between the map, really using the map to just stay out of this range here and forcing CDs, forcing resources as they're trying to rotate. As we see Lampet just staying in perma, as Zach is forced to fight. Ooh, uses every blink here in this fight. C4 finally on point, but Lampet seems to be winning this fight. The Kitsune comes out and the pulse onto the ground. Hold that! Oh my god! As Shiki is actually capping a lot here. We get 2 ticks, or almost 2 ticks every time we get a touch.
Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you? Hunting them down is Cave, and Triplet using the beat to get aggressive. Now the ball comes from Bella. They'll take and hold some space, and Social gets the pick onto Zach.
Who's winning? C4 got a pick on his judo.
The
That was the only
Shiki
one
still
left
coming up
point.
on top.
Shiki.
I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna snap your neck like a twig, just like Pella's about to snap Cave's neck like a damn twig. As Seafold does eventually force Social out, and Pella gets dropped, which leads to a first point cap, finally, for Shiki after some struggle.
Can I talk now? 3 minutes on the board for Shiki as they get that cap out. And I think second point is actually better for Extinction's comp. I think there's just like more space. It's harder to rotate. There's not a, you know, it's harder to rotate. You can't just like hide in that top right space, so it's really hard for Pelican to happen. But Zach gets a crazy pulse bomb onto Social for an opening pick here as Seafold gets the ultimate all.
Zach Cave there to follow it up, and it's just cleanup crew time for the side of Shiki. A very clean snowball of a fight. Extinction not allowed to set up, as you had mentioned.
Yeah.
Temp onto the Widow. Looking for a pick. Are you gonna... what's going on here?
I've lost it.
I can tell. Lampin has also lost it because that pulse went nowhere, but the engage is there onto Temp, who's sticking to the Widow, but no help for Temp as both Juno ults get popped onto point. Point slowly getting used up as Cave and Triplet both combo that ultimate. The ult goes onto Pella. Social getting taken down late as well. Pella's got the tracking of a god, but the health of a something that is small and doesn't have much health. As Temp now gets the pick onto Cave, and it's just what they need as Temp gets a follow-up pick as well. Make it a double, they say. Buy one, get one free. Can they get a third? They want it. They want, please give it to me. Please give it to me, please. And they don't get it. But
yeah, this window swap is really interesting. I think it's almost subjectively worse. But manages to get 2 picks when you're playing really close to your spawn. You can make risky swaps like that and see if they work. And it's usually meant for like attackers, but like this defense, like you're really close to your spawn, you can play Widow. You can go back and swap if you have to, or you know, if you die, you're really close. If you feel like a swap is, you know, necessary after death. But obviously the picks come out as Triplet gets a little bit caught out there, away from his team and dies for it. C4 almost dies onto point, can't quite force it. Just doesn't really do anything there as they just kind of chill and wait and live. They don't really have ultimates for this point cap. Lampin almost does get forced out here as, oh my god, C4 just smelled blood.
Blood was spilled too as Lampin finally does get dropped. And now it is all or nothing fight. As Temp finds one, looking for more. It's all or nothing for Shiki. If they don't get this cap, if they don't add additional time, get the point, then it is this game over. And then it is Extinction's W, and the hard flick on the Cave, who uses that airborne ability. Doesn't quite hit the first shot, doesn't hit the follow-up shot, but they've done enough, as it will just be the end of Shikigami, as Extinction spells the extinction for Shikigami, and the meteoric rise of this crew cannot be understated. Cave on the Sombra can't even touch point, and that is a W in a map 5 3-2 victory for Extinction.
I mean, the Kahanga's on tap to go Widow there is just like,
and stay Widow.
Insane. Like you're literally just like, I'm him. Like I'm just that guy. Ew, oh my god! Oh, it's all over my screen. It's all oh my god. Oh, I just got full body chills. But like you're literally just going like, I'm him, I'm that guy. I'm gonna play the hero that like doesn't have as much space control. It doesn't have as much, you know, pure damage output, explosive damage. You know, doesn't have the survivability. You know, doesn't have as good of an ultimate. But if I hit the single shot, if I'm just him and I'm just like mechanically good enough, I can completely change the fight. I can completely change like just the course of the entire match. So like it's such a risky pick that like I think you can only go if like one, you're on attack, or you're on defense and you're just that close to spawn, because it means like if you die, you can swap and get back really fast, and it's not as punishing as say you go Widow on first point defense there, where if you die, then you have to like, then it's like a trek, your parents trek from school on, on the way back to the point. Um,
Yeah,
that made sense, I think.
I'm gonna be so honest with you, no, but but I love the heart and the soul you put into it, and that's what you got to appreciate. And along with the heart and the soul, you got to appreciate Temp, because Temp had a fiery game. That temperature was high. The flu game was there because I mean we saw those off angles. You know, they didn't get full on.
This guy's creativity, nobody knows it. Like, dude, like, no, I respect it so hard. It's how
Temp was alone in Shambali for hours, just doing rollouts on the Freya. You got to appreciate it at some point. You know, sometimes it didn't work out. Sometimes it worked out in masses. They lost the map, but you know, the point stands, the creativity of not just Temp but the whole Extinction squad, utilizing Pella and Pella's, you know, I don't even want to say limited hero pool. I think Pella's hero pool has greatly expanded since the days of past. But it's just that Pella is just one of the best balls in the world, full stop. And Extinction are utilizing that to such a great position. And it's something that can't be understated as well, is that teamwork. You know, we saw, you know, on Ilios, I want to say that we saw every now and again it would waver just a bit, and you know, maybe they'd get a bit disconnected. Similarly with points of Kings or Shambali, where it was just points of disconnect. But all in all, what a brilliant match. And although it was close, I would say especially that final map didn't feel that close. I mean, you had Temp just running Widow for 3 fights.
I guess the final map, like third point, Shiki held for like a really long time. They capped first point like really quickly. They had like 3.5 minutes to cap second point, and they almost did. And I think they actually like full stop would have if Tev didn't go Widow, didn't make the hero plays.
Yeah.
So I do think like there was something there from Shiki, but like it's just like so hard because you're just going into maps that are clearly so practiced, so comfortable for Extinction. What I found really interesting was Shambali, because I think it was the map where it looked like they were playing their game, but it wasn't as practiced on that map. Temp's angles, like on King's Row, they're just bad. there's nothing like the flank on King's Row, like from top right basically into their spawn without an ultimate. It's just like what are you doing there? You're gonna have to be Thanos to get a single pick. You're gonna have to like be like insane just to get a single pick, and then you're gonna get called out. But on Shambali, it's a much more open. It's much more harder to get to you. It's much like those angles can really work out. It just felt like they really struggled. You know, they would set up, they would have those angles, and then they would go in and they would die anyway.
Yeah.
It just felt really. It just felt like they were so close to making Shambali really work in their favor, conform the map to work for a team comp that it wasn't built for, and they were just like moments away. I really think it's a map where like you VOD that map, you scrim it for a week, and you're just like ready for that type of team comp on that map again.
Well, you can't forget as well that was Extinction's map pick as well. Going to Shambali, getting the first pick ban of Sigma, so they opted to want to play ball, to want to go to Shambali, and unfortunately for that map, what?
No, Shambali was Shiki's pick.
No.
Extinction won New Queen Street after losing.
So Shambali was Shikigami's map pick, and I think they played that perfectly in banning the Vendetta because it was a double-edged sword, and then just kind of in response banning the Sigma to not allow
Vendetta. They banned Vendetta on Blizzard World. Shiki, you said they banned.
I'm sorry, you're like lagging out or something. Okay.
Were you here? I know it was a long series, a lot happened, but you've gotten every detail wrong.
I was looking at the wrong page. I was looking at the wrong.
Oh, you have the Face It page. I'm doing this from memory. Like.
Anyways, that's gonna do it for today. But I mean, what a killer match! I think for both of these teams. You had mentioned, what a VOD reviewable, match. What a like to that this. It feels like one of those matches that both teams, although there is a winner and a loser, and I am happy for who won because they're my org. I am very. It's still, you can almost call it a win for both teams. They both are able to get something out of it. In this instance, it's, for a map like Shambali, those cracks have been shown, and in Extinction now know what they need to nail down, what they need to extract and get better at from a map like that. For the side of Shiki, being consistent and consistently finding those angles among maybe, I don't even want to call it like oddball compositions, because I think these compositions that we're seeing that Extinction are playing, we're going to be seeing more and more throughout the rest of Face It Master Playoffs, OWCS. I think these types of compositions are going to be more normal. And I mean, finally, I got to give a big shout out to you, Naku, for joining me. This has been one of the most fun.
Voice like 2 maps ago.
This has been one of the most.
Blizzard World actually killed me.
And then you wouldn't stop. That's the craziest.
Like Blizzard, we went into Blizzard World and I was like, man, my voice is hoarse. Like wow, I can't believe I've already lost my voice, and then I just decided to full send in on defense. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I thought for a second that you thought that when I said I was gonna just observe and produce, you thought I was serious.
I was going to make you serious. I was going to make you commit to that.
And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this for free. I wasn't going for it. I just wasn't keen on it. I want to cast too. All right. It's Mom said it's my turn to cast. Okay. But anywho, thank you, Naku, for coming out and hanging with me at Darth Naku on Twitch with 1 U, 2 U's on Twitter. Make sure you go check them out, support them. Sorry?
That's not confusing.
Darth Naku with 1 U on Twitch. Just like it's in the title. Just like it's down there. But then add a U on for Twitter.
Add one more U, that's my @ on Twitter.
X the everything app.
Yeah, because Darth Naku with 1 U on Twitter was taken years ago.
Years ago. By me, actually, as it turns out. But anywho, we will see you back right here this Sunday. Extinction versus Amplify on January 18th, this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there or be square. That's going to be another absolutely wicked game. Amplify on a bit of a hot streak, going 8-3. Extinction now 6-2. So we're seeing a bit more games played from the side of Amplify that could play in their favor, and being a bit more ready for matches, a bit more prepared, just because they've played a few more. Or could be worse, because maybe that enables Extinction to do some specific VOD reviewing on on what type of comps they like to play, see if there's a style of play that they can pull off. But make sure you are there Sunday at 9 p.m. on both my channel, Hyper the Worst, and the Extinction NA1 Twitch channel. Thank you all so very much for watching. Make sure you go get your custom pro jerseys out now at extinctionesports.com, along with your Stanley t-shirt. Go cop it, along with go cop a FIL over on my Twitch. Why did I word it like that? That was
Cop a FIL?
That was diabolical. That was
Cop a FIL?
Listen. Over here on the twitch.tv/Hyper the Worst Twitch channel for the Hyper the Worst, we are doing a 24-hour endurance race that is going on at this very moment. I'm gonna get some caffeine in me and I'm hopping back in the racing rig, so I better see you there. Be live tomorrow, pre-game, post-game, all day, every day. Thank you all so much for watching. Naku, any last words?
Dude, what's crazy is if you look up at Darth Naku with one you, nothing shows up. But if I try to change my username and get rid of the second U, it says username's unavailable. So somebody's lying to me. Somebody's lying to me, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
Well, you do that. I will be catching you all later. Make sure you take care of yourselves, drink plenty of water, and I will see you all just in a couple of days, Sunday, 9 p.m. See you there.